hip 90-90 circuit. So this is more of a beginner style circuit. It's not nearly as aggressive in some of the positioning and some of the protocols in terms of like how much effort we're putting into. But the important piece is that you're set up within the actual 90-90 setup. So when you go to the ground, what you're gonna do is you're gonna look down at your lead leg. It's gonna be bent to 90. You're gonna look back at your back leg. It's gonna be bent to 90. Then you're gonna look at your thigh on the right leg or my back leg relative to the thigh on my front leg, and that also should be bent to 90. So from here, that's that 90-90 position. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on the lead leg at first, a little bit of work on the back leg, and then we're gonna switch through our hips and do the same thing on the opposite side. So on that lead leg, what I wanna do is push my back shin into the ground, push my hands in the ground, pick the lead leg up, hold for literally 3 seconds, and then I'm gonna lean forward. Now most people will just lean into the stretch in their hip. I want you to actively push through your shin into the ground to get the hip to fire a little bit, keeping your back flat, and hold that for 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, you're gonna relax this leg, but keep the stretch on the front glute, and you're gonna rotate into internal rotation on the back leg by just picking the foot up off the ground, and I'm gonna hold that for 3 seconds. So we've done lead leg, up, then down into the ground. Then we've done the rear leg where we rotated into that internal rotation. Now we're gonna come back to the lead leg and we're gonna focus on external rotation to where my foot is coming up off the ground. Now most people have a really hard time staying in an upright position and being able to externally rotate that front leg, because what they'll do is they'll pick their whole leg up off the ground like we did in the first part of the movement. Your knee has to stay on the ground the whole time, and the rotation's coming through the hip. So if you can't feel that, if you drop to your elbow, it'll give you a lot more motion to be able to move through, so you can really feel that working in that bottom, in the hip. And you'll hold that for 3 seconds. Then what we'll do is, if you're able to, you'll pick your hands up and you're gonna rotate through your hips without putting your hands down. If you're somebody that has really tight hips, you may have to keep your hands on the ground. And then when you get to the opposite side, you need to double check that you're set up in that 90-90 position of the front leg and the rear leg. And then you leverage the back leg into the ground, hands in the ground, pick the front leg up, hold for 3 seconds. Then we're gonna lean forward, push into the ground with my right shin or my lead shin for 3 seconds. Then I'll relax that front leg, and I'll pick up the rear leg, hold that for 3 seconds. Then we come back to the front leg. And so you can see on the video easier, I'm gonna drop to my elbow and I'm gonna work on that rotation, keeping my knee on the ground. And that would be an example of 1 rep per side. Now when I go to transition back, if I keep my hands back behind me, that's gonna be a regressed version of doing it versus your hands off the ground. So do what you can in terms of your technique and your range of motion. Most people are gonna really struggle with this at first. As you spend some time in these positions, you'll notice that your mobility and your flexibility will improve.